Good morning, everybody. We are here for the Marion County Board of Commissioners Board Session. It's Wednesday, August 6, 2025. It's 9:02 a.m. We're in the Senator Hearing Room at 555 Court Street Northeast in Salem. And if you would please stand and join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. We have public comment this morning. Ron Sturba, if you'd please come over to this table. Okay. You'll have 3 minutes. If you would, please introduce your name. Oh, please, you can hand it to the lawyer and he'll hand it down.
There's 3 copies.
Thank you so much.
So go ahead and sit down, introduce your name and address for the record, and you'll have 3 minutes.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Yep, please go.
Okay.
Yep.
Good morning, Commissioners. I'm a Sitka Neighborhood Association, Southeast Mill Creek Association, and I'm here as a chairperson for their traffic. The piece of paper I got you is talking about the annex of the parcel at Corden Road and Highway 22. I submitted this interchange for Corden Road 3 years ago. And with that, I wanted to make sure that we get a interchange at Corden Road because it's really growing really fast. And right now, all the people are over in Corden and State Street are going down Rickey to get to Lancaster, then going to one over to the I-5 or to Detroit. With that, I want to say that the 3 bridges, one at Deer Park Drive Bridge at OCI, Corden Road, and Lancaster are not systemic is not constructed for earthquakes. So if one of those bridges is compromised, people going to OCI or the I-5 going to Highway 22 is going to be compromised. And we decided with the information that I got by the bridges not being constructed for earthquake proof, that we should look at getting a interchange at Corden Road. And with all the building that is going on the east or the north side of Corden Road, I think it would be a good thing. I understand, and I don't know where that planning is for Kubler and Corden Road, but I'd like to get that information. I thank you very much for your time today. I appreciate that.
Thank you, Ron, for being here.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
I'm sure I know we don't normally
Yeah.
ask about comment, but Lonnie is right there. So Lonnie is our engineer, Ron. And so I would like to introduce you to Lonnie in the back there. Go talk to her about that intersection.
Okay.
Yeah, she has lots
She's
of
our county road
information that she
engineer.
can. She's our county road engineer. Well, are you our county road engineer?
County engineer.
You're
Yeah.
a county engineer. Yeah, because our road guy's Carl. Anyway, I forget all the titles. There you go. Okay.
Yeah, great. Thanks, Ron, for being here. All right, we'll move on to the consent agenda. Commissioner Willis, would you read that?
Be happy to, Madam Chair.
Thank you.
Okay, I'm sure I move that we adopt our consent agenda under Board of Commissioners, Board of Committee Appointment Mental Health Advisory Committee. We approve an order reappointing Michael Mann to the Marion County Mental Health Advisory Committee with the term ending June 30th, 2029. Under Business Services, approve and adopt amendments to the Marion County Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act, HIPAA Task Force Charter. Under Health and Human Services, approve amendment number 1 that reinstates the incoming funds intergovernmental agreement with the Oregon Health Authority and adds $419,209 for a new IGA total of $1,693,733 to provide oversight and care coordination for MHS06 Choice Model Services through December 31st, 2025. Under Information Technology, approve a purchase order with Mythix LLC in the amount of $2,573,430 for Enterprise Resource Planning ERP implementation software through August 6th, 2030. Under Public Works, approve an order to formally remove all current members of the Solid Waste Management Advisory Council as a structural step in the reorganization process to establish a focused, efficient, and mission-driven body. And approve an order to rename the Solid Waste Management Advisory Council, SWAMAC, to the Materials Management Advisory Council, MMAC, to support a modernized mission and membership framework that addresses current and future materials management challenges. Under Sheriff's Office, approve amendment number 2 to the incoming funds participating agreement with the United States Department of Agriculture Forest Service to add $99,750 for a new agreement total of $171,750 for the county to provide adults in custody work crews for lake sweeping services for Detroit Lake and post-fire cleanup at state parks located in the Willamette National Forest through September 30th, 2027.
I'll second the motion.
Have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
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 Aye, the motion passes. Thank you. We're going to move on to action, and Max is going to come talk to us about considering an approval for an order that allows Marion County Public Works Director to establish a local access road. Good morning, Max.
Good morning, Chair. Good morning, Commissioners.
I love Lonnie's enthusiasm. I can hear it through the door.
That's great.
Well, will this work, or do I need to get it the full screen?
It's fine.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Good morning. I am excited to be here. And for the record, my name is Max Hepburn with Marion County Public Works. I am the Land Development Engineering and Permit Supervisor. So another long title. I'm excited to be here today to be presenting on this program. We've talked about this extensively over the last few months, along with our county road acceptance program that we're doing with the 10-year plan, and establishing this, with your approval of this order, establishing this program for local access road limited maintenance. So this continuing program would be ongoing until it is dissolved, and allow us to maintain a subset of local access roads, or those roads that the county has not accepted for maintenance. So the purpose of it is to provide that limited maintenance, and that'll be defined further on here in a minute, to prevent public safety hazards on local access roads. We want to keep our local access roads, which are maintained typically by the abutting property owners, in good condition and looking like Sandium Park Road, for example, and hopefully helping situations like Kenwood Avenue not be created again in the future, as well as addressing the existing condition of Kenwood and roads in that similar situation. Along with paved roads, we have gravel roads as part of this program. Elma is a perfect example of a road that needs some attention to get it to be traversable and more safe for the traveling public, and to prevent these types of potholes from reoccurring. So limited maintenance for this program is defined as the following: allowing us to do pothole repair, grading and placement of rock and millings on gravel roads, allowing for ditching and culvert flushing, asphalt preservation that's appropriate as determined by our operations staff, a structural overlay if there are less costly alternatives are not feasible, allowing for us to pave gravel roads into this program if it yields long-term savings to the county, as well as allowing for any ancillary work necessitated by those types of maintenance activities, such as managing stormwater facilities, putting down pavement markings, signage, or conducting trimming of roadside vegetation. Currently, as it's framed, this program would have 24 roads, which equates to, I believe it's a 7.25 miles at a total annual average cost of about $80,000. These 24 roads have aerial images following, so I won't read them all right now, but I will go through them here in a second. The first being the segment of 4th Street up near Hubbard, this portion of Ash Lane, Baum Court in East Salem, Eldon Avenue, the gravel segment of Elma that I showed earlier, Greenlee Way, Hoffman Road, Husky Lane, Julia Road, Keene Lane, Kenwood Avenue, LaRussa Court, Ledican Way, Lewis Drive, Lilac Lane, the county portions of Milton Street, Sandringham Drive, Sanium Park Road, which is the access road to Sanium Park, and Sanium Way, Schaefer Road, Shipman Lane, Shirley Avenue and Shirley Court, and the last being Sunnybrook Lane. I appreciate this opportunity, and I'm happy to answer any questions you might have.
Thanks, Max. Commissioners, do you have any questions?
I don't have
Comments?
any questions, but I do have a comment. First of all, thank you, Max, for your work on this. This has been a long time coming. These are not county roads.
Correct.
So I think I just want to put on the record that the county doesn't have an obligation to fix these roads. Through various agreements in the past, basically these roads were developed by private individuals with the expectation that private individuals would maintain these roads. But the Board of Commissioners have made a decision, since as time has passed and as development has occurred, these roads have become something like roads that are used by the public, that it's in the public's interest for us. Since everybody pays gas tax and everybody pays into the fund that we use to maintain our public roads, we made the decision to do the best that we can to get these roads to a standard for use by the public, who does in fact use these roads regardless of what they were intended for. So this is a complicated situation. The county doesn't have the legal obligation to maintain these roads, but in the best interest of us serving our constituents, we've made that decision to try to maintain these roads to a standard that people can feel safe when they're getting to and from work, getting to and from their homes, and getting their kids to school.
Thank you. Commissioner Cameron?
No, echo. Thanks for bringing it. Thanks for getting it here.
Yeah, and I think it's important just to say thanks for your response to the community. This became a topic of discussion for us a couple of years ago. You mentioned Kenwood Avenue. And we met with most of those neighbors, I think, on several occasions to try to get through these challenges. And I appreciate that the staff heard their needs and the direction, obviously, of the commission to come to this point that will help others in the future communicate with your team and the road crew for safe roads. There's another road that comes to mind in the LaVish area that we've heard about extensively, and I think it's no surprise to many that when you go and buy property, you don't read the fine print of the very lengthy deed, usually that comes with that says in there you're responsible for the road you drive on. Unfortunate missed opportunity for skill and knowledge, in the world of, we teach people things when they grow up. And also, they shouldn't be victim to poor roads because they had a developer back in the day that didn't go through the process to have them come into the county road system, or the system in the county wasn't established, or whatever history looked like. So I'm actually really glad that this is finally here, and that that list of roads will be brought up to a healthy standard.
I also want to say I appreciate what your team is doing to make sure that this doesn't happen in the future.
Right.
That people don't develop bad unmaintained private roads that are gonna be used by the public.
Yeah.
So
Thank you.
I know sometimes folks ask, well, why do we have road standards for new developments? It's like, well,
Well, let me show you.
Well, now we see, yes, yeah.
there's a reason why we hold new roads to a good standard.
For learning
Yeah.
from our past, yeah.
Yeah, great, thank you.
All right,
Commissioner
Madam Chair, if
Cameron.
you're ready, I would move that we approve an order that allows Marion County Public Works Department to establish a local access road continuing maintenance program as described in Exhibit A, and the county to maintain those local access roads as identified in Exhibit B.
I'll second the motion.
A motion and a second, is there any discussion? I just want to add that the reason we're going this direction, not just that one reason, but I cannot remember the name of Kenwood is an example of a road that if we were to urbanize it and bring it up to full standards, people's front yards and ability to park at their homes would be lost.
Correct, yes.
Because the development of the community at the time created such a narrow passway for the road, like kind of like a single lane road, if you will, that would have to be widened considerably for curbs, gutters, and sidewalks. When you brought pictures to us to show us the impact, specifically on the neighbors on the north side of that road, it was really alarming to me that their quality of life would be so ruined over the federal standards that are required, but because of the creativity, their road now no longer has potholes that a Prius could get lost in, and their yards are the same. So there's always questions in the community as to why we do certain things, and there was a lot of thought poured into this. So with that, all those in favor, please say aye.
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 Aye, the motion passes.
Thank you
Thanks,
very much.
Max and
Appreciate
team.
it. Have a good day.
You too. All right, it is 9:18, so we are going to recess until 9:30 and come back for public hearings.
All right.
All right, I will reconvene the Board of Commissioners Board session and open a public hearing. It is 9:30 a.m. Public hearing to consider adopting a new street vendor ordinance. Steve, you know, the legal counsel's never gone down there, but I'm glad you are. We can look right at you.
First time for everything.
That's right. Do I need to read the little deal that I don't have?
No.
Okay, great. Nope, it's fine, just making sure.
Good morning, Commissioners. My name is Steve Elzinga. I'm Marion County Counsel, and I'm here to present the street vendor ordinance for the public hearing.
Pull that mic.
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry about that.
It can move towards you too.
So we're here to consider the street vendor ordinance that has been drafted in collaboration with the Marion County Farm Bureau and other partners in the region. The problem that we're looking to address is related to street vendors who are mostly in the right-of-way or right next to the right-of-way that are interfering with traffic flow, distracting drivers, and creating general safety hazards. And historically, there has been street vending that has involved trespassing on private property, and it has been difficult to enforce. And so we're looking to address these problems by creating a permitting scheme that will allow for proper regulation and enforcement. The goal is to improve safety for the street vendors themselves by ensuring they're operating in a safe location, as well as for drivers, pedestrians, et cetera, enhance traffic flow, allow better emergency access, and overall improve safety. The process for drafting this was heavily involved in working with the Marion County Farm Bureau. I met with multiple representatives of the Farm Bureau on several occasions, and we went through multiple drafts of the ordinance. Multiple drafts of the ordinance were also shared with various partners in our community, including the cities listed above. We received feedback from most of the people on that list, and in fact, we made some changes based on, for example, the city of Woodburn wanted to make sure we aligned with their ice cream truck ordinance by allowing the same amount of time, and so we added a clause that ensures we're not overriding or conflicting with what the city of Woodburn does. The city of Staten had a comment about, I forget what it was, but we made a change based on that. And so there were several changes made based on community feedback, as well as the overall goals that the Farm Bureau requested. And the key provisions of this ordinance will be that in order to operate as a street vendor in Marion County, you have to get a permit. It will be a simple one-page application form, and the proposed fee is $50. And it's important to note this does not duplicate other permitting requirements. So if someone is permitted, for example, as a food truck, then this is not a requirement that applies in addition to their food truck requirement operating as a temporary restaurant or whatnot. If there's already a permit that they are following that's issued by the county, by a state, or by a city entity, then we are assuming that they're properly regulated under that permit, and thus we don't need to impose an additional permit. So there's nobody that's going to have to get a second permit under this ordinance. This is only if you don't fall under any of the existing permitting requirements. And we make sure that street vendors need to have insurance and operate only in specified locations in order to improve safety. In addressing trespassing, if you're within 50 feet of a right-of-way, which is kind of the area where there's the most frequent trespassing, you have to have written permission from the property owner, or you have to be the property owner or a relative of the property owner. The immediate relative I call the lemonade stand exemption. We're not trying to get in the way of kids sitting on their lawn selling lemonade. That's not what this applies to. And then there is a special provision related to ice cream trucks because those are a little different than most traditional street vendors that just set up on the side of the road. So we recognize that and have a reasonable set of regulations around those businesses. And then for things like if there's a parade that shuts down a street or a farmer's market, there's recognition for that. And then also if in some cities, a restaurant, for example, like in the city of Salem, is allowed to have, in some circumstances, tables that are on the right-of-way immediately adjacent to their restaurant, or other vendors are allowed to put, sell clothing on the sidewalk or something like that. We're not preempting that in any manner. There is a specific provision that recognizes and allows for that. The goal of the ordinance is education first, and voluntary compliance enforcement is a last resort. We hope we never have to enforce this ordinance. The health department is already working on an educational flyer that has a lot of fun little logos to kind of explain what's allowed, what's not allowed if this is adopted. It is notable that this only applies in unincorporated areas of the county unless a city chooses to opt in. We're not proposing to impose this on any city area, but we welcome all cities to voluntarily opt in and join us, and that's part of why feedback was sought from a number of partner cities, and they will each have to make their own decisions on whether they opt in or not. In order to allow for easy enforcement, the permit application has to list every employee who's operating under the permit, and that way, if a sheriff's deputy is going up to someone who is engaging in street vending, it's easy for them to say, we need to see a copy of your permit that shows your name, and then an ID that shows you are, in fact, that person who is listed on the permit. So easy enforcement to allow for a very low staff burden for enforcement for our deputies or any city that chooses to enforce it. And it does allow for issuing fines or impounding equipment that's non-perishable. We're not talking about taking someone's strawberries that might rot while they're waiting to pay the fine. It would just be non-perishable things, and once they pay the fine, they can get the equipment back. There is an appeal process that's important for due process to the hearings officer on an emergency basis, so that we ensure that if there is a mistake, it can be easily remedied quickly. The draft of the permit form application is on the screen there. I don't know that it's 100% final. I think it's very close. I've been working with the great staff in Health and Human Services Department to work on that. But it should be fairly simple and straightforward, and it tries to explain what's going on. We did, before questions, we did receive an email comment to the board from, I believe it was Kathy Rogers, asking that there be an amendment to the ordinance that would prohibit street vending in a residential neighborhood. And I did email to the commissioners if you wanted to make such a motion. I have a suggested motion in your email inboxes. And then finally, because this is a ordinance, there will need to be a motion to read by title only, unless you want me to read the entirety of the ordinance.
Thank you. So to clarify, we received a public comment email from Kathy Rogers this morning to our BOC commissioners, and then individually, collectively, all to us. Does the ordinance not, in its current state, cover the enforcement in a residential neighborhood? If it's like all Marion County, if cities opt in to this, then the deputies can enforce anywhere in the right-of-way or sidewalk or publicly accessible environment without permission, correct?
Yes, absolutely. We can enforce. So this would, at this point, because it's unincorporated Marion County, so we're really talking about East Salem areas that are not part of Salem. There is no outright prohibition for residential areas, but the other prohibitions would all still apply.
But it applies.
So if you wanted to have an outright prohibition, zero street vending in residential areas on streets, I assume we'd still want to allow lemonade stands and whatnot. So the proposal that's in your email boxes would just be in the right-of-way itself, which is defined in the ordinance, so just public streets.
Okay, I guess I'm a little confused because I think the ordinance already covers the enforcement in the right-of-way, which would be the street, correct? So
Yeah.
is it necessary to add the language? Is it just for ease of understanding, or is it like deputies are gonna understand the law? They cannot provide any type of street vending in a public area, a right-of-way, etc. And they must have a permit regardless of where they're performing their street vending.
So the ordinance currently does not have 100% ban on all street vending within a street. It has a number of requirements, such as you have to be within 100 feet. It is banned on all county property 100%.
Okay.
There has to be like illegal access from the public road. There has to be adequate parking, and there are other restrictions like that, but it's not 100% ban on all right-of-way. And so if you wanted to say 100% ban on right-of-way within residential areas, then you have that option.
Okay.
We may want to leave it as it is and see if it becomes a problem, because it does, I mean,
Without being able to have a conversation with the community as to what issue we're solving, I
Right.
don't know that there's an issue to solve.
right.
And I appreciate Kathy's input, and I think it's something that we pay attention to and ask the deputies to be aware of, and ask residents to communicate with us if it becomes an issue, and we can always amend the ordinance in the future. Right now, because we've done so much work with all of our community partners, I'm not comfortable amending the current
Yeah.
language, but I'm always happy to have a conversation going forward if the need arises.
I'd agree with that, and I do have a couple questions. So one of the areas that I think of, this would not help us if they're standing on ODOT right away, right?
Correct.
We couldn't enforce our ordinance if they're on ODOT
Unless we get an
property.
agreement with ODOT, like we have
Yes.
with park and rides and other areas that have become a nuisance for collection of unwanted camping, et cetera, we can enter into an agreement with ODOT to allow our deputies to enforce on their property this ordinance, which is
Yes.
something we'll be pursuing.
Okay. Yeah.
You have any questions?
I'm fine with the direction you guys talked about. So.
Okay, so I just want to provide some clarity on the problem we're solving, to create a visual. Steve, I appreciate the amount of work that you have gone through in a short period of time. For the better part of 3 years,
Yeah.
we have been taking a considerable number of complaints from the public, from properly sanctioned businesses, like large farm stands, grocery stores, restaurants, neighbors, and law enforcement, about street vendors. And the visual I will give is the individuals that arrive on the corner of State and Cordon Road with their pre-cut fruit in a roll cart and a folding chair. That is dangerous for them. It is dangerous for individuals in the community who are driving vehicles. It impedes access to pedestrian and bicycle traffic. And there's no regulation currently for those individuals. It's been difficult for law enforcement and the Health and Human Services, Environmental Services Department to build a relationship and a rapport with these individuals to bring them into any level of compliance. And so now we're taking the next step within our jurisdiction and authority to assert and say, this is not a wanted activity or behavior in our community, and we want you to be in compliance with all laws, and this is the method that we now need to take in order to do that. I think this will solve in time the challenges that we're facing, but it is a direct response to several members of our community who have been frustrated for some time in the unincorporated areas, but also in incorporated areas. I know that in the city of Kaiser, they have a substantial issue on the outskirts of the city of Salem on the east side, specifically in the city of Staten. Those are the areas that come to mind where individuals have provided complaints to myself directly or the sheriff's office that I've been in communication with. So we're not just creating a rule to create a rule. We are creating a rule to create a solution. And I want to give a shout out to the Marion County Farm Bureau, because initially they reached out to us and said, this is dangerous, this is harvest season, and also this is unfair. We have to go through all these processes and permits and regulations by state and county rule, and these individuals are not, and we want a level playing field and also a safe environment in order to perform and conduct business. And I appreciate the patience that they have had with the county as we have navigated this with the attempt of trying to build relationships with these vendors. So, it's actually Column's motion, unless you want to take it.
No,
We do-
yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
Okay,
Do you want to,
let's see.
would you like me to close the public hearing? Would you like to make a motion to close the public hearing and move to action?
I'll do it all in one big
Great.
thing.
Lovely.
Okay, Madam Chair, I move that we close this public hearing and approve an ordinance to amend and update the provisions of the Marion County Code, Chapter 10.10 relating to street vending, and that the chair read the ordinance by title only. Does that work?
That works.
I'll second the motion.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Do I need to read the title now or after?
You should read the title now.
And I have two documents, so just to clarify, it's the one that says the order number.
An ordinance amending and updating the Marion.
Oh, this is a fee, just kidding. And an ordinance amending and updating the Marion County Code, Chapter 10.10 relating to street vending.
Okay, let's vote on that, and then I'll do on the fee.
All right, all those in favor, please say aye.
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 Aye, the motion passes.
Okay.
And now, we have a motion for,
To approve the setting the application fee.
yes.
Madam Chair, I move that we approve an order setting the application fee for the new street vendor permit.
I'll second the motion.
A motion and a second, is there any discussion? For the record, the fee the board is adopting today is a $50 application fee for street vendor permits. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye, the motion passes. Okay, I will close we already did close the public hearing, so we're back in board session. Is there anything else for the record?
We all went to National Night Out last night.
Yeah,
Really fun.
you wanted me to be a hero, and then you quickly intervened there about National Night Out.
Oh, so sorry. Sorry. Go be a hero.
Okay. I mean, we can talk about it. We went to a lot of places.
Yeah, it was great. I love National Night Out.
I do too. I didn't take any pictures, but there were a lot of pictures taken. I made a post because Lieutenant Jefferson sent me a photo of her and I. In the 5 years that I've had the opportunity to do this as a commissioner, I think last night was the biggest turnout I've seen at several of the locations. I visited 3 locations. I went to the city of Jefferson, which started at 5 o'clock, and people were lining up at like 4:45, which was amazing. And then I went to the second location's on, Enchanted Way. It's a little tiny home park, and it was for the community, the residents. And it was really well attended. In fact, I really wanted to get in their pool and just hang out. It was such a lovely environment. And then I headed out to Sublimity, and I've been to Sublimity 3 years in a row. And every year I'm blown away by the number of people. But last night, I swear, I mean, there was people, the church parking lot was full, both sides of all the streets were full. The school parking lot was full. Like, it was a packed place. And I left there at like 8:15. I'm certain they didn't close that place down until well after 9 o'clock.
I didn't leave till after 9.
Okay.
I meant to leave before you.
You said you were leaving.
And the thing is, so I normally, when I do work stuff, my family doesn't normally come, but I've had so much fun at these before. I called Joan, I was like, hey, you should see if the kids want to come. And they had a ball, and so that's why I stayed longer. I thought I was like gonna help the cause by like getting the kids home and getting them to bed, and my wife would think I was the best. But like I got over there and they were like, we're not leaving. What are you talking about? This is great.
Yeah, I saw Katrina running around all over the park. After you said you were leaving, I watched a little redhead run in front of me, and I was like, oh, he's not leaving anytime
At
soon.
all.
She's having a great
In
time.
fact, she hid in the tunnel when it was time for us to leave so that we couldn't leave. It was,
I admired the number of little tattoos that she had.
yeah, they were comparing once we got home.
Yes,
Yeah.
what are those temporary tattoos? They were very colorful. And I think, one of our volunteers here in the county, Jenny, she went out and helped make 250 bags of cotton candy. And they went through them in like the first hour.
Yeah, when I saw my daughters with bags of cotton candy in line for the snow cones, I was like, this is not going to end well. There's no way that this ends well tonight.
Yeah, there was a lot of sugar in the park. And they had their barbecue dinner, and then they had cake and brownies too. I was like, this park is going to be loaded on sugar by the end of the night.
My kids are, they are big fans of National Night Out. Fun fact.
Well, I started down in Jefferson at 5 o'clock. Took my wife with me last night, so it was fun. And then we went to the Santana Park.
Yeah, how was that?
That was great. They had Marion County Fire one there. They had a couple ambulances. They had a tender. A lot of volunteers from the fire department, sheriff's department was there. Then we went to. I'm trying to think of the name of the street. It's out by Shaw, Almsville address. Went to that neighborhood. They had their chairs set up. There was probably 20 people there. And then joined you out at, well, I started did I say Jefferson?
Yeah.
Yeah, saw you at Jefferson. I always like to go down to Jefferson. They always have a big crowd down there too.
Yeah.
Sarah, their city manager, said to me when I got there, she goes, I heard we're not the biggest. You know, this is like now there's this now there's this competition going on.
Between them and Celebrity.
Yeah, and
I don't know where they would put more people. They had the entire yard and parking lot full in Jefferson.
yeah. They
have to shut down the road, I guess.
They do a good job down there too. So, and you went to Woodburn, right?
I went to Woodburn, super fun.
Yeah.
big
Did you get
crowd.
tacos?
Of course, of course.
So
That's
I
always
didn't
a famous
eat.
draw.
I had a cookie in Jefferson. I didn't eat. So then, after we left Sublimity, we stopped at the new restaurant there at St. Anne Golf Course.
Yeah, that's a great
Oh
place.
yeah,
Yeah.
was it good?
Yeah, we had Brussels sprouts and steak bites. Just
Very
kind of shared a couple appetizers. It was good. So, yeah.
I look forward to seeing all the pictures online. There's gonna be a lot.
The neighborhood association, here, where is it? His name is Frank.
Yeah.
Yeah, he sent me, I guess the dog, our sheriff's dog got out there and he got pictures, so I'll
Okay.
forward those over to John too.
Okay.
Yeah, a lot of pictures.
It was a busy night. I need a
Good
nap.
night. People having fun and getting to know each other.
Yes. Okay. Anything else for the record? Okay, we're adjourned.
Good job.